Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Travel Show with John Guinn on UKHealthRadio.com. I have really bad hay fever when I'm recording this, so I apologise for my voice is a bit bleh. I was going to record it the day before, however there was roadworks outside the studio, far too noisy, couldn't do it, so now I'm doing it first thing in the morning, and hay fever's kicked in. So it's just one of them things, but please do bear with me because I'm sharing a lot of information about how to book flights online. On this week's show, I'm going to be talking about booking and researching flights online, and it can be as easy as just filling in your name and payment card details. But you could be missing out on better flights, deals, or maybe even booking the wrong airport altogether. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make the most of your flight booking, how to prevent mistakes that many people make when they book a flight, and I'm also going to be talking about compensation for cancelled flights, frequent flyer clubs, lost luggage, and more. But you do need to remember that airfares are not guaranteed because sometimes the taxes change before you depart. The best way to do your best to lock in the price of the ticket is to book it and hope for the best. So if you keep leaving it, the price is only going to go one way probably. So if you like the price, just book it. Don't keep waiting. Just book it and never look again. That's the one thing I want you to take away. Book the ticket and don't keep checking to see if you could have got it cheaper because you're going to drive yourself nuts. There are some sites, and travel agents can do this for you, that can hold the seats before you're booking, but there is the chance that the price may still go up, even though they're held for you. You don't have to pay any money for this to be held, but the prices aren't guaranteed. The delay in confirming may take you outside the booking range of a particular fare class, for example, and I'm going to be talking about fare classes too. And others may store your itinerary, but not the prices or the seats you're looking at, so you've got to be careful there too. So when you return to collect your tickets, which you've held, you may find out that the flight's already fully booked and you're not going to get anywhere. When they take your card details to hold a seat, it's basically they just kind of keep hold of your details to stop you going somewhere else to see if you can get the same flight cheaper. So although you can hold flights, you can't change the name when you've held them, and the whole idea of taking your name is so that you can't go around different suppliers trying to get a better deal and holding half the airplane under your name. So it may seem obvious, but the first thing you should do is to check your destination. Are you flying to Sydney with starting SYD? Are you flying to Sydney SID? Or even Sydney with SYD and SYD? There are plenty of examples of airports with similar names, and online bookers do get it wrong. It's not uncommon for travellers to end up in Sydney, Nova Scotia instead of Sydney in Australia. A quick search on Google will find you stories of people who have done just that. And this is why airport codes are so important. They reduce the chances of ending up at the wrong place. An IATA code is a three-letter code that it uniquely identifies an airport. You may have noticed them when flying in the past. The label with your suitcase has the three-letter code of the airport you're going to. So you can see, for example, BCN means you're going to Barcelona. The International Air Transport Association, or IATA, represents over 90% of the world's scheduled airlines. As well as producing the codes, it also produces measures that allow certified agents to print multi-layered paper flight tickets, and the introduction of e-tickets, which revolutionised the online booking industry. By revolutionised, I mean it means that the cost of actually printing is now passed on to the passenger and not to the airline. So the IATA code for Sydney, Nova Scotia is YQY, and Sydney, Australia is SYD. Mixing up YQY and SYD is a lot harder than mixing up Sydney NS and Sydney NSW. Care should still be taken as there is also an SDY, which is Sydney in Montana, USA. It's also important for extras such as hire car and transfers. Another common mistake is to land at one city airport but to hire a car from the other one. And Florida gives plenty of examples of passengers landing at Orlando International, MCO, and booking their car hire at Orlando Sanford International, SFB, which is around 25 miles away. You're listening to The Travel Show with John Guinn on UKHealthRadio.com. Basically, there are four types of booking and reservation websites. There's virtual travel agencies, tour operators / providers / airlines, and large service providing websites that also offer flights as well as other services. All offer different levels of backup with a human being. It can be assumed that the cheaper the price, then the more expensive and harder it is going to reach the backup of a human to help you out. There are also price comparison websites. Some are general sites that promise to save you money on any consumer goods, while others are specifically for travel. They are not booking websites and may gain revenue from the affiliate links or by advertising. If you are travelling alone, ensure that you only search for the price for one person. The website might default to 2 passengers. When I talk about fare classes later, there are only so many seats at a particular price. If there's only one left and you've searched for 2 seats, then you'll automatically be given the higher price. Likewise, if you're searching for a group, don't just search for one ticket and then multiply the cost, because there may not be enough of that price for your group. Any search you need to be able to search for flights only. You'll probably find that most do not allow you to depart from a non-UK airport. If you are looking for flights starting from another country, then the airline's website is probably the best place to start looking. Options include charter flights, would be useful when you're looking for prices, although this can be rare. There will be little chance of finding no-frill line airlines as well, such as Ryanair and EasyJet. In fact, back in 2009, Ryanair threatened to refuse boarding for any passenger not to have used Ryanair's website when booking their flight. So it's got something you need to be aware of too, although I doubt they can ever prove it. A flight searching booking website should show the full price. It used to be common practice to only show the ticket price and then add taxes and other fees afterwards. Because of the European Union, this practice has nearly died out, which is great because it used to be really annoying. Another useful function is to show the prices for flights on adjacent days. It should also be easy to find out the luggage allowances, but this is normally buried in the small print and can be difficult to find. If you need to know who flies to which destination, check out skyscanner.net, or you could visit the website for your departure airport. There will either be an interactive map of the destinations or a search option. And don't leave it until the last minute to book. It is very rare for prices to go down, even though you may get lucky with a charter flight. Once you've found your routes and your airlines, sign up for their newsletters so you get the heads up when a special offer is on. But remember, always read the small print. There are loads of hidden ways in which the airline can increase its profit by catching passengers out, such as excess baggage charges. And if you're willing to hang around at airports, then check out flight prices for indirect flights, because that can drop the price dramatically. For example, when I did this in June 2012, I was looking for London to Cape Town, and using Expedia's website, a direct flight from London to Cape Town was £840 and an indirect one was £713. With a direct flight, you would leave Heathrow at 9 o'clock in the evening and arrive at 10:05 in the morning, taking 12 hours and 5 minutes. Where the indirect flight, you would leave Heathrow at 8:25 in the evening, arrive at 21:35 on the next day. So the journey would take 24 hours and 10 minutes, but it would save you over £120. And you should also check the financial cover should there be any problems if the airline goes bust. If you book direct and the airline does collapses, the chances are you'll be at the end of a very long queue of creditors. Although if you paid by credit card and the ticket was more than £100, then your card provider should be able to refund you. Multi-layer paper tickets are now a thing of the past for most airlines, although I have seen 1 or 2 in the last few years. Most scheduled flights from the UK use paperless tickets. They're called paperless, but you still get told to print them out and take them with you. So it's paperless as far as the airline is concerned. These are called e-tickets, and they could be emailed to you after the transaction is complete. Or you may have the option to print out the number from the website. In theory, you should just quote the booking number when checking in, but as I say, you have to print the e-ticket with most airlines. But please be very careful when you book online. A misspelt name can be very expensive to change. If you remember... I've just remembered a story of somebody who booked his girlfriend's ticket in the wrong name. It cost him £150 to change this. He put us down as Sue, but her passport name was Susan. So always have the passports of everybody you're booking for next to you, so you make sure you get the names exactly right. And don't just tick the read and understand the terms and conditions. Make sure that you are happy with them before handing over your card details. So, with that out of the way, how do you get a good deal? Well, the first way to save money is to book early. There are many stories on the internet that prices are launched at midnight, so the cheapest prices are around then, although I've never really tried that myself. You should also avoid holiday, weekend, special events, festivals, etc. And the most expensive times to fly from the UK are Easter, 1st of July to the 31st of August, and the 10th of December to the 8th of January. So more examples, back in 2010, Heathrow to New York JFK, departing on the 30th of June, flying back on the 7th of July, £369.79, departing on the 1st of July, and flying back on the 8th of July, £599.79. And both flights were Virgin Economy tickets. So you do need to be careful when you fly. If you can be flexible on your dates, then just pick the cheapest dates you can go. But if the price really is a priority, then use 2 or 3 price comparison websites and up to 3 booking reservation agency websites. And you can also book direct with the airline as well. And to be honest, most of the occasions that booking direct with the airline is the cheapest way to go, because obviously there's no middleman. But people who are not airlines, such as travel agents, they can get flights called IT fares, which I'll talk about later, which, providing you book with accommodation, can be an awful lot cheaper than booking direct with the airline. And try to aim for a midweek early morning departure and a late return flight. You can also use websites such as Travel Supermarket and Skyscanner to keep track of prices if you're planning ahead. You can follow me on Twitter at holiday_hut. So you found your flight and you like the price, but before you hand over your hard-earned cash, will you actually enjoy the flight experience? I'm not talking about turbulence, but what do previous customers think of the airline or the route? Most travellers now use websites such as TripAdvisor and Holidays Uncovered to find accommodation reviews, but few use airline reviews websites. One site is airlinequality.com. It is run by Skytrax, which carries out major passenger surveys. The website is a mix of official surveys and public reviews, and it's not always easy to find the route, but if you use the Find option with Internet Explorer or whichever web browser you use, you may help you find the right route on a page-by-page basis using the airport codes such as LON-NAS-LON. Other websites include flyerguide.net, airline-reviews.co.uk and reviewcentre.com. But if you really want to scare yourself before you fly, then you should check out www.airsafe.com. When I was a travel agent, I did get a lot of common inquiries from parents who assume that their 17-year-old is classed as a child.